Or let me know if you want me to mute myself.
No, but I'll mute this. Um, so no, you're good. So again, welcome. It's been a little while, it feels like, since we've collected here. And I know quite a few people had contacted me, said they weren't going to be able to make it, but I just felt it was time and essential for us to connect again in this way. The energies, I hated that. Let's breathe. um, yeah, times have really changed. When my sister from California, the one that did wake up and to more of her psychic abilities, she's like, "What's going on, Julie?" So times are changing, but Sunday was a really, really large energy day, and the 21st was huge because we really got this a blast of 2021 energy. And so that kind of knocks on my butt. And then just there's going to be this portal thing that's closing tomorrow. We've been in this, and another one's going to be opening. So it's just a lot. So let's just breathe into it's a lot. So I want to welcome Pam here, Pamela, and she looks all shiny and bright the way the light's on you. That's so nice.
That's right.
It is. It's awesome. I like it. Don't change it. So why don't you go ahead and share kind of, well, whatever's on your heart. What have you been noticing personally? What have you noticed any magic, and also how have the energies been experienced by you?
Well, I shared with you the other day about my painting experience with my friend on Facebook, and I had a really, really large reaction to it and just could act on it and buy the painting. And it's something big, and it's something I just knew. Sometimes I question and I'm indecisive and I don't trust, and it's just like, whoa, I just knew. And that's been so wonderful. And the other thing is it feels like the universe is bringing me some people who are going through some difficult times, and I feel like the words that I'm sharing with them aren't really my words. And then I get done talking, I'm like, where'd that come from? And wow, did I need to hear that too? And sorry they're going through whatever they're going through, and I got stuff out of it too, and that's wonderful. Also, though, physically, my body's been like all over the board. A little bit of an upset stomach, headache, and it feels like as fast as that comes, it goes away. So yeah, I had a good cry this afternoon over like a show that I was told to watch, and yeah. So it's just all, yeah, it is what it is right now.
Exactly. Hang on a second. I'm just going to pause this. It is interesting. That was Patty. She's like, I'm just returning your call. I said, are you coming to the webinar? She's like, oh, I'll find my way in.
Awesome.
But, when it's to be, it's to be, right?
Right.
I mean, look at the timing of that. It's just like, wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a couple of things I want to say about what you just shared. Remember that there's a physical emphasis this month on the physical body. So I know for me, my body's really been talking to me like, we really don't want this anymore, or we really do want this. And it's really just such a matter of honoring what it's speaking to you about, and also discerning, is this you trying to trump your body? No, body really wants a bunch of sugar right now.
Right?
I feel it. I really do. And I heard a good suggestion the other day, and it said, like, if you're craving sweets, to have like a teaspoon of some kind of natural high sugar, like Manuka honey, or like a fig or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and then see if that satisfies it. And if it doesn't, well, then it's probably an emotional or some kind of unconscious thing the body is doing with you because of a feeling you're having.
Mm.
And I thought, oh, that's really, really good advice. I really felt that. So I was just passing that one
Yeah.
along too. But yeah, the bodies are really talking, and they're talking loudly. Maybe what you could get away with before, where you're kind of getting this inkling, well, it might be about time, it really isn't going to tolerate it.
Right.
And it will let you know. So remember, we're in this month of Ready 10. And so Ready has a couple different layers to it. It's about, well, we have to get ready, prepared, like I said, in the next level, but also we have to get ready. We have to get it, get the essential nature of it. What are we to get essentially to be ready? And that is larger than being prepared. To me, that just, I feel it. I don't have a lot of words for it. So if we look at these next 3 months, it's ready. There she is. Patty, do we get to see you? Oh, there's Sue too. Look at, they're all popping in now. All right. Welcome, you two. I don't know if you have your audio or cameras on. Clearly not. Hello. There's Sue. So we have this ready, move, go. So that's what the 10, 11, 12 is about. Ready, move, go. And there's a certain requirement that we have to meet by the end of this month so that we can move into move. And that is wow. That is wow. So welcome, Sue.
Hi.
Hi. And Patty, are you there?
Yeah. I'm here
Okay.
now.
You are? Okay. Cool. Do we get to see your face, or are you going to stay incognito?
I'm working on it.
She's got her she's the techie one of the group. So this ready, move, go is a deal, because there's literally these requirements, like on a soul level for each of us individually, but also as a collective. There's requirements that are time tied that we must meet. And that's why this, from now until the end of the month, we're gonna just feel like we're getting hammered. I know, like I said, my hammering was on Monday, but today I conveniently was listening to some old messages, and it was from October 1st, and Mara left me a message that I was going to have to really move, because I have to, especially on the 21st, 22nd, because I'm going to be hammered with 2021 energies. Well, doesn't that make sense, Sue? Why I wasn't feeling, why I had that thing? Because I was getting the 2021s, and my body's like, we are not ready for 2021. Wow, what is this? And so, yeah, I mean, I really felt it. It was just there she is. Hey, Patty, welcome. And so it was, yeah, it was a day. So, what you said something else, Pamela, though. You talked about, how things can come and go just as quickly. There is a key to, if you can acknowledge and just connect with the sensation you're feeling in your body and not have resistance to it. It's really easy for our human to go, oh, there's pain, and to tighten up, and then we constrict that flow of energy that's trying to dislodge. So allowing yourself to just kind of go into the pain in a way and release it, it will release quicker. And I'm a big proponent on just talking to the body, connecting with it, saying, oh, thank you, body, for telling me this. Is there a message I'm to have? And then I listen, and sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. And if not, then I just say, okay, is there a feeling I'm to have? And sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. And then I just let body, sometimes I will touch it and just kind of breathe into that spot to let body know I'm connecting with it and helping support and releasing it. But a lot of times it will just go then. So, and whenever something like, now I know switching, so this must be some truth here coming in. Whenever I release something, I always love to put in love back, because nature abhors vacuum, right? So as we release, I consciously fill that space up with love again. And I can feel all my cells dance when I do that. So that's just something I do. So we're going to continue on moving around the circle here. I'm excited that Sue was able to join us, and Patty. And Sue, why don't you go ahead and share what's up?
Yeah, I think, again, it's the reminder of the balance of the doing and the being, and making sure that that all takes place as it should. Doing the exercises through, your work with Mara feels really important. And then again, just, as you're speaking, just the processing, just the reminder of, so often, again, I just had a thing that I was working on that it's kind of been ongoing. And I was just feeling a little bit tight again, thinking, that's right. I really didn't go through all the feelings around that again today, which, again, it's just a good reminder. Yeah, it's easy, but it's, again, if you're not always, whatever that is.
Yeah, well, conscious of it, like really making it a priority.
Yeah, just, and it's easy, so easy, as you say, it is. And I've done it. It's just that I don't always remember. And so it's just important to be reminded.
Right.
And just having this conversation again just helps me again to revisit.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, we're glad you're here. Take a breath. And we will connect with heart energy, which will always make it feel better. Okay, Patty, welcome.
Thank you. Which one?
You, Patty.
Me.
Oh,
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Who else do I have on the line? Or you have the phone on too?
Am I in there twice? I'm sorry, you guys.
That's okay.
So I think this is just an example of allowing time. I guess it's time for me to call you and join this meeting.
So share what you just did. You can tell on yourself.
So I was calling Julie back from a message she left me yesterday, and apparently I was meant to come here.
I go, oh, are you joining us on the webinar?
Oh, I guess I am.
Oh, she goes,
What
yeah, I'll
perfect
find my
example.
way in. No, what you said is, I said, do you have the link? And you go, I'll find my way in. Do you guys feel that? Breathe into that. That was code when she said that. Totally code.
I'm just grateful for the lesson that just, what is it time for? That is so helpful. My life has, feels like chaos sometimes, and, I just have to deal with the next thing. I've learned with working with Julie that I can't plan anymore, and things are just crazy in my life, and I just sort of like it that way, and I really like it when time just shows me what's next. So I'm happy to be here.
I like that, what you just said, Patty. That, again, listen to her talk, Essence talk. Did you know what you just said?
No.
I'd have to rewind it. When time shows me, oh, what did
What's
you
next?
say? It was awesome. When time shows me what it's for, I don't know.
What it's time for.
We'll have to, yeah, I don't know what you said, but it's cool the way you said it. So we'll all have to go back and listen to it.
Okay. And then the other thing, I'm just, I'm supposed to be here tonight. That's what it feels like. One of the reasons is because of what you were saying earlier, checking in with your body and what's there. And I'm allowed to ask. I'm allowed to ask if there's a message there for me. I'm allowed to ask if there's a feeling there for me. I get, from my old patterns, I get caught up in I'm supposed to know, I should know. So just a reminder that I'm allowed to ask. And, it's me. I'm allowed to ask. So thank you for that too.
Hey, I love it. I'm allowed to ask. That's beautiful. So let's breathe into that. I really like that phraseology. I'm allowed to ask. So many of us in our younger years, asking questions really wasn't okay. You were expected to know. But you never got that bridge of someone teaching you or showing you the way. And so then you'd catch heck because you were supposed to know, or you just get a bad grade.
Right.
And so I really appreciate that, Patty, because I can see from what we did in the last session, you've really taken it and worked with it. So good for you. Good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And one thing I want to say about, remember, let's breathe into this. Well, first of all, we're going to connect with our hearts here, because I feel like we all can use a heart hug right now. So let's just all kind of create this heart circle, and then we'll call in everybody else too that was unable to make it in the circle tonight. And let's bring them into, and let's just give everybody a hug, a heart hug. And joining with the hearts, because this is what's true. This feeling of connectedness, this feeling of equality, this feeling of wholeness, remember, is our true state. Everything else is just a distraction. And we're remembering the masters we are, that we can deal with those things and still have this state, this feeling of wholeness, holiness, and centeredness. And let's just breathe into ascension is a process. It's not an event. And so we are not, it's not an event. It's not, we don't get there. It is an ever evolving process of remembering. And some moments we remember, some moments we don't. But allow yourself that space and grace to remember, and then to not be hard on yourself if you don't. It's important to recognize that you fell into an old pattern behavior or whatever, but gone are those days where you sit and spin with it and make yourself wrong and all that kind of stuff, because that does not, that no longer serves here. How we recognize if we're in this moment of remembering or not is what tells us if we are. The body. The body does. How does it feel? Does it feel good? Is body relaxed? Or is there tension? I've really been tuning into the subtleties of the sensations of my body this week. Just really paying attention to how it is feeling, even if it's a subtle tightness, because the energies are becoming more palatable, so you can recognize them more, but that also means you have an opportunity to feel the energies in your body even more. And they are being highlighted too. It's like our sensory of everything is being turned up. And these feelings are so key as an indicator as where we are at and where other people are at too around you. If it feels good or not. And it's not about making somebody wrong. It's just identifying, wow, that they're in that place. And for me, I'm starting to see it's almost like Charlie Brown Pigpen. You know what I mean? Like when energies are more discordant, it's almost like I can start to see that too and not just feel it. It's becoming more palatable for me to catch even subtleties. So I don't know if that's true for anybody else, but it just feels like everything has been cranked up. Now, also on Monday, we had an experience. Sue and Lauren and I were working on that emotions program for schools. And I was sitting in my chair by the computer desk looking out the kitchen window. And we have this beautiful maple tree and it's in full color. It is just majestic right now. It was just beautiful. It was almost like vibrating, like it was radiating. And I was just, I just love the colors of the fall. When these trees turn like that, it's just so beautiful. Anyway, I'm looking and it had rained. And then I'm like, is it snowing out? Because all of a sudden I couldn't see the tree as clearly. And then I look and I go, oh my gosh, it's like fog. And Sue turned and looked, right? You saw the fog, right? And then she also looked out through the porch and there was no fog. And then it disappeared like that. It came and it was there for maybe 30 seconds, if that, and then it left and it was gone. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's like surreal. Like, I'm not sure what we experienced, but that is very surreal. So I was sharing this with Karen Dowse, and she sees really clearly. She said, Julie, that was a benevolent being outside your house because of whatever you guys were talking about, whatever. And the energies were such that it was actually a gift for you to see. So how cool is that? Because it looked like fog, but it wasn't. You know what I mean? Because it was so, well, segregated. It was only in a specific place. So these things are really starting to occur in our physical reality. And more, I feel like people will be experiencing more of these, whatever you want to call it, anomalies. I don't know what you want to call them. They're things we haven't really experienced in the past. And then later on in that day, I had a client here. It was about 6 o'clock when it started getting dark. We're sitting out on the front deck. Now, it's chilly. It's not that nice. For some reason, I follow her out there and I sit in the chair. And she sits down to put her shoes. It was wet out there. It made no sense. But we sat out there and then we were just both quiet and we were just looking. And all of a sudden, my landscape light, one of them, and for those of you that don't know, I invited the fairies back into my yard about 2-3 weeks ago, and I got this huge mushroom the next day. Yeah, I have a picture of it I can share with you guys. It's a riot, and it has a heart imprint in it. So it's just like, whoa, so fun. And but we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, my solar landscape lights, just one starts going on. It's blinking on and off, on and off, on and off. Now, I've seen it maybe do it 1 or 2 times, but then it goes on. This was like Morse code. And it was going blip, 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 and I just start hooting. I'm like, oh my God, look at the fairies play with my lights. And I just do this thing for about 30 seconds, and then it finally went on. And then it went to the next light. And then did the same darn thing. And again, they all usually come in on almost simultaneously. So, and then it goes to the next light and it starts blinking, 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 blinking. And by this time we're hooting, and the more joy and excitement we're having, the more the magic occurs. And so then they start going to another one. It's just like it was like you could have put music to it. It was so very awesome. So even though it feels whatever, there's all this place for magic to occur if you allow it, if you really allow it. And the other thing that I want to share that occurred is on Friday, my nieces wanted to have a garage sale. They were here. They came at 9 in the morning, and I can kind of do these pop-up garage sales because I have the tables, the signs, and they're just not a big deal for me because I have the system down. And so they had some stuff, so fine, we set it all up. But we go out in the driveway, and here's this dragonfly in the driveway. And I thought it was dead, but I called them over to look at it because they're beautiful to look at. And all of a sudden it raises its head. And I said, you guys, it's not dead. But he said, look at its wing is injured. It can't fly. And so we're all huddled around it. And if it could have flown, it would have by then. And I said to the 2 younger ones, I said, let's heal it. Let's heal its wing so it can fly again. And of course, they have no resistance. So we just close our eyes and we're all sending it healing energy. And I said, just open up your hearts and just send lots and lots of healing energy. And after a couple minutes, the wings started vibrating again like this. And I said, you guys, look, it's working, keep going. And so we keep doing it. And I said, now just the only picture I want you to put in your mind is seeing it fly. Let's just focus on seeing it fly. And it flipped over. I tipped it back on its feet. It walked and then took off. It was super cool. So again, the magic is here for those that choose to see it. And for those that want to remember how powerful we really are. And it's that whole thing. You must become like a little child to enter the kingdom of heaven. It's that awe and wonder, that innocence. And you have nothing to lose by trying this stuff? Nothing. The worst that could happen is it doesn't work.
You know, can I share something?
Yes, please do, Sue.
Okay, so today my son was sharing with me that he came home yesterday, and as he's driving into his driveway, there was a bird. It was a large bird, and as it turns out, it was a hawk that was sitting in the leaves. And what it had done was it had attacked a squirrel. And so Brandon got out. He's like, oh my gosh, can't believe this hawk. It's huge. He's sitting on his lawn, and so he starts to photograph it. It takes off and it sits in the tree. It's a large tree in the front, and he continues to photograph it. I mean, this is going on for quite a while. The pictures he has are amazing, and so then he gets his daughter, and all of a sudden now she's only 19 months, and she sees the bird and she's like, oh my goodness too. They're both just kind of in awe. But then what I said to him today is, the animals bring us information. So we looked it up to see what the hawk brought, and I'm not kidding, but he really bought into it. And this is, for me, this is kind of a big thing. Kristen tonight, when we were talking, she had already looked it up. She was already on board with, wanting to know what, and they're working on a big project. So for them, it felt like it was just letting them know that they were on track. And, this, I don't know exactly how to share that, but.
Well, it's about vision.
Okay. So then it is.
Hawk is about vision.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about holding the vision.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it felt that it was very supportive, at least for
because there's Hawk saying, keep the vision you have going. They have a big project. They have big hopes and dreams, what they want to do. Yeah. And there's Hawk, right there.
Yeah.
And squirrel is about gather.
Yes, and I told him that too. So here you are, you've got something. This is again an anomaly, I feel. I mean, when do you see a hawk in a residential area just doing this? You'd hardly see them out in the wild. So sorry, my clock is going here.
It's perfect. The clock is going. We like the clock. Look at time come in and say, yes, this is true. Yeah. Yeah. No, I really, yeah. Do you have something else? What else does it say, Patty?
So I thank you for sharing, because it made me think. I saw pelicans this morning, and I didn't really believe that I was looking at pelicans. I walked around Lake Normandale in Bloomington this morning, so I had to look up pelicans. So thanks for sharing that.
Well, what's pelican about?
Me to go look. Well, it's about forgiveness, myself or someone else. Free yourself from whatever's weighing you down. Take the plunge with an opportunity. So, yeah, thanks for reminding me I have this tool too. Yes. And animals are really, really loud right now. And I really feel like this situation with the dragonfly, the one with the hawk. And it's interesting, a lot of times somebody who's awake is in that experience now with them. So you can bridge that remembering for these people. Look at, you know what I mean? Like you could reiterate, yeah, this has a meaning. Let's look at this. And me for the girls, dragonflies about breaking the illusion. So look at, basically they got to break a lot of illusions of thinking. I mean, they will never forget that. They will never forget that, how powerful they were. So I bonded with a few strangers that were also sitting there, unbelievable that we have pelicans in this lake in Bloomington. So I got to talk to some new souls. Actually, one of them I already knew, apparently. But you're right. Pelicans or the animals are talking loudly too.
They are talking, and I feel like they're just sharing. Like Karen was sharing that she works downtown Minneapolis, and she walks to work, and she said too there was this bird on the sidewalk with its wing injured, and so she picked it up and she started healing it, just sending it healing energy and stuff. And all of a sudden she goes like this and it flies out of her hands. This lady on the sidewalk was watching her and she goes, "Oh my gosh, what did you just do?" And she said, "Well, I just sent it healing energy." She goes, "That bird wasn't flying." And she goes, "I walked right by it. It had a broken wing." And Karen goes, "Yeah, I know." But look at how there's so many of us now amongst ordinary that haven't awakened yet. And, there we are placed to show the magic. And I really feel this is going to get louder, and you're going to be given many opportunities to show your mastery. And you can't be afraid of what someone's going to think. If you're being used as Spirit's tool to help that other soul remember, the worst that could happen is you show an injured animal kindness, right? Even if nothing happens, which is usually not the case, because if you're being inspired in that moment, everything's there to support you for that to occur. As soon as I saw that head lift, I knew we could heal that dragonfly. I knew without a doubt we were going to have that dragonfly fly. So it's just part of this is like, it's so exciting. I'm like, yes, it's awesome. I've been waiting for this. Yes, and now it's here, and people are doing it all around. Yes. So anyway, okay, let's talk a little bit about, we're going to do an exercise tonight. If you have some paper, I would get some paper if you don't. And we're going to do some conscious closing of circles. So get a piece of paper. I did this exercise a while back with myself, and I found it very, very, very helpful. One of the things that is going on is we obviously are closing a lot of human circles. There's this Shri and Kira that I shared with Sue, and I have followed them on and off, or watched them from at different points in my journey for a long, long time. And she started doing this in 2000. And they're very, very clear. And so much of what she says just aligns with what we're saying, but maybe slightly different words, whatever. But the essence of it is the same. And when I at the beginning of my journey too, I actually did some of her stuff, like some e-courses or whatever. But one of the things she was talking about is this month of 10, or October 2019, it's closing of a 19-year cycle. So she was saying, if you can, think back to where you were October of 2000. And boy, I know exactly where I was. I mean, I know that because I was super frustrated with my life. So I remember that. But and if you can't, just kind of peruse that. But we literally, on my birthday of this year, we started a new cycle, October 11th. That's that 10-10 10 thing was a big deal to complete. So this is a new beginnings. This is like getting a clean slate, and we get to start doing stuff in a whole new way. And to me, that's exciting. But one of the things we want to do is close these old human circles. Okay? So I literally wrote, let's see if I brought my paper. I did. I did. Well, maybe I didn't. Oh, I thought I was all savvy and brought mine. I didn't. But what you're going to write, I drew a full circle in front, and I said, I made a circle, and then I wrote, my human closes the circle with my mother. You know, and then I just kind of breathe through that. And if you tune in, you might even feel energy release. And then I draw another circle, and I put my human closes a circle with, and I did all my siblings. I did all the people in my life. Kids, you know, parents, grandparents, old friends. And basically, I just noticed if there was any unforgiveness, any unfinished business, anything other than love. So if you can't really close that circle, then come back to it. And you know there's some work to be done then. That just means you're still holding on to an old story, some unprocessed feeling, or a belief. But to me, it was very freeing to go through and do that. Because if they're not to continue on as part of my reality, you know, they will just automatically fall out of it anyway. But it just felt like I got to mark it. And also part of me in this process, I just felt all the gratitude for all the experiences I had with that soul my human got to have. And some of them were not pleasant, let me tell you. But it was awesome to be in a place where I could just say thank you. I bring this full circle. It is complete. I close this human circle, and literally, I bless you on your journey. And, you know, you talk about hot air balloon and rising and letting go of ballast. It really was powerful to me. And I did it with, you know, friends and even people that I didn't even, that aren't going to leave, I don't believe are leaving my journey. But I allowed my humanness to close the circle. I'm traveling with souls.
Even with people you still have a relationship with,
yes, like sons. Yep.
Yeah, closing the circle and
the human circle.
New cycle, the human circle, and processing everything that's there. Okay, cool.
Yeah, because you're going to travel with soul. And so that you still may travel with that human/soul, but you want to clean up the junk of the human game you played with that person. Does that make sense? I don't know. I really felt like it freed me from a lot of things. And again, go ahead.
I'm just doing it with my brother. I felt there's a lot of old stuff there I haven't looked at. And yeah, I got some work to do. Just awareness.
It is. It's just, again, another exercise in consciousness. And if we don't take the time to look, to mark, to see, it stays under the carpeting. You know, I mean, that stuff got swept under a rug a long time ago, and you said, I just want to deal with this. This doesn't feel good. I don't know. But, you know, the dirt's still there under the carpeting till you lift up the rug and clean it out. So that's really what you're doing with this exercise. So I'm just going to give you a minute or two and do a couple of them here. And then I want you to share your experience of what you noticed. And then while you're doing that, I'm just going to move the computer, and I'm going to show you the hot air balloon that let's see. Oh, maybe it might be too dark, but we got to turn on the light here. Hang on a second. That wants to grace the porch now. Let's see. Oh yeah, there it is. So that's part of what this exercise will do. It will free you so you can rise. Look at that. Can you see it? There it is. That's a good thing. We brought a little bit of New Mexico home with us. All right. Who wants to start? Who would like to share first? Pamela?
I can go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I closed the circle with a girl that I grew up with as my neighbor, and she's been in my awareness a lot in the last 6 months maybe. And I saw her at a funeral, and it just dawned on me closing that circle that we had such a different experience of our time together, and that she saw our time so differently than I did,
Hmm.
and that was okay. It was okay for me to close the circle
Ooh.
and feel like joy and purpose and everything in our relationship. And I felt like when I saw her in June that when she saw me, she saw pain of growing up because she grew up so differently than I did. But we were put together in situations just because of our proximity and her situation. And to me, it was a blessing. And to her, I feel like it's a scar. And seeing
Whoa,
me
I
since
feel
I was
that.
in her wedding and we never contacted each other for 20 plus years, it's, I think seeing me was a scar, is a scar, and that she didn't want to rip off that scar, and it was purposeful for me to see her side of it, and now I can send her love and know that our relationship served a huge purpose in both of our lives,
Hmm.
and although it wasn't the same, it was just right. So
Wow, beautiful, Pam.
yeah,
Beautiful. Oh, mm,
ain't that fun?
that's awesome. Beautiful. And I have to say, your essence is speaking so, it's so fun to hear the soul essences talking out of our humans now.
Yeah. Like, where'd that come
That
from?
is just, I know. Of course, it came from you.
Yeah, sure.
That part of you that you just said, well, you just stay up there because I don't know if that fits my role of how I've defined myself down here.
Right, right.
And now it's time.
Yeah,
Awesome. Thank you
yeah.
so much for
Well,
sharing.
what a fun exercise. We'll be experiencing this again real soon, I
Yeah,
bet.
good. Well, and again, let's all breathe into that because can't we all relate to a situation like that? But how beautiful that, like you said, you can see it from the whole perspective, not just your slice of the pie.
Hmm.
And then when you see it from the whole, that's what bringing something full circle is.
Hmm.
So thank you. Thank you for
Hmm.
sharing.
Yeah.
Patty, do you want to share?
Sure. I closed the circle with my brother. When I saw the pelicans this morning, I thought of him. He's a wildlife photographer, so I texted him. And I felt there's a lot of stuff there. He and I are on the same team a lot, and we're fighting for the same thing. But there's a lot of history from when we were growing up where, he would. I felt it here. He took my voice. He just made me feel small when we were growing up, and I saw him tonight at dinner, and it's still there. It's right under the surface. We're on the same team and we're doing stuff, to make things happen. But right under the surface, I didn't realize until the circle that it's still there, and I need to let go of it. And my pelican friend is telling me to forgive him. And this circle exercise is helping to clear out that junk, like you said. So I have I have more processing to do. I don't know how much, but very helpful to. It's open. It's there for me to deal with
Nice.
and feel.
Yeah, and good for you to have the courage to do it. And look at your soul just going, Patty, it's time to call in.
Aw. Yep.
You
Uh-huh.
know?
Yep.
So
Yep.
good for you.
Uh,
One of the things that I'm going to invite you to reframe or reshape, I guess, is you said we're fighting for the same thing.
ah,
I don't
okay.
even know if you caught that. Um, that just says a
Okay.
lot about how you had to navigate to get anything in that family,
Yeah.
right? It always felt like a fight to get any
Right.
attention,
Yeah.
to get any what recognition,
Okay.
to get it. Did you feel this?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
So that's a key word.
Okay. We're working towards the same goal. We're not.
Well,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
I just saying, what if you said to yourself right now, we don't have to fight for anything.
Yeah, we don't have to fight for anything. We
You
don't have to
know,
fight for anything.
we're just bringing
We don't have to
things
fight for
back into
anything.
place.
Okay.
Do you feel that?
I do. I do.
But see, then the
I do.
ego, the part of us that has wanted to feel righteous and right in the story that of what happened to us, that means that part of us has to relinquish its story. Because you can't hold on to that story and and have that and let go of the fight.
Mhm. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And the fight is always based on our ego personality self. That part of us
Mhm.
that did not get what they thought they needed so they could feel loved here and safe. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Very helpful.
So, and thank you again. There's some of us that, you sharing this, I just want to, applaud you guys for showing up and being so open and raw, because we all have threads of this or we wouldn't be here together. There's pieces in here for all of us. And what I kept saying to this client I was coaching, um, and I keep saying we blah blah blah. I said, and I'm saying we because I'm including me in whatever I'm saying, because even though this is coming out of my soul essence, my human still requires to hear this.
Mm.
Does that make sense? Yeah. So thank you for sharing,
Thank you.
and I'm glad it was helpful to see that. But then again, you can go through a lot of things and see what's under the rugs. So, Sue, how about you?
Okay, well, so what I was doing, because you said that you had included so many people in this exercise, I just started making circles of all the people that have impacted me. Now, um, curious about when you did that, because I have a question. Would these be people that you've had some issues with?
Just anybody that was in my sphere,
Anything, anyone,
anything, good, bad, ugly.
indifferent, doesn't matter. Okay, so that's basically what I was doing. And as I was making the circles and putting their names in there, it was already helping me just release anything that just didn't feel good. And for those others, it felt good, obviously, just good.
Yeah. But again, in a lot of ways, this ascension process, you go to neutrality.
Okay.
You're not, nothing's good or bad, nothing's, you know what I mean? Like everybody's equal.
Okay, so what I'm saying is you feel good in terms of what has occurred in this
Yeah.
the time
But
frame.
you let go of the good too. That's what's weird to our human,
Oh,
because
so
our human is wanting to hang on to good.
you Don't, okay, all right. So neutral is your goal.
It really is.
Okay.
That it becomes this neutrality, and it's spiritual neutrality, in that you just see everybody as souls, having an experience here just like you. And in that space, there's all this compassion, this love, this, forgiveness is a given, because there is nothing to forgive. It's just, that is a given. Anything they may have done against you just becomes mute. It just becomes part of your journey, because it got you here. And you wouldn't be the person you are now if you hadn't had those experiences with them.
It's so true.
And so, yeah, so that's part of this experience. I feel like it's balancing everything out. And it's almost like, in accounting. Now, I am not an accountant. I'm not so much, but I know they used to talk about zeroing out accounts, right? Isn't that right, Pamela? There's something called zeroing out accounts. So you're really, bring it full circle, you're zeroing out that account with that person, that energetic account with that human. So you can, and remember, at a soul level, if you are communing as souls, that's a given. You meet them in love. You meet them in respect. You meet them in compassion. You meet them in non-judgment.
Okay, that was the word I was going to say next. Okay.
And that's, to be honest with you, is something the collective is going through right now. Is really, it's in their face where they are judging things, and where they're holding judgment towards someone or something. That really is getting highlighted. And truth is coming in and saying, well, this is true. You may have feelings about this truth, but it doesn't mean this person's a bad person, this person's a good person. It means that they made choices that netted this, and this doesn't feel good. But you know what I mean? And that's really, if you look outside, that's what's happening. So I'm going to be putting out a document. Mara wanted me to share the languaging, and that is, truth is the highest language now.
Makes sense.
So just kind of breathe into that. Truth is the highest language now. And time ensures it. Truth is the highest language now, and time ensures it. There's a lot of levels to that if you breathe into that. Time is ensuring that truth is the highest language. I know we've kind of said time is our director and all that kind of stuff, but truth is the highest language. And more and more, don't you find yourself just stating truth to people? And you just really don't care how they're going to react or respond, because it's just true.
Mm-hmm.
And more, you can say it in a way that doesn't have all this emotional charge behind it. It's just true.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so much freedom that comes from this language of truth. And it also brings up a lot of feelings to feel sometimes, particularly where truth was not being honored. There's this level of radical honesty that is being called forth now with each and every one of us to be honest with the truth, to love ourselves enough to say what's true. So one of the things Monday morning I was saying when I woke up, I was like, wow, it's getting to be long here, meaning a long time my brother has lived with me. It's feeling long. I just kept saying that to myself. Wow, this is feeling long. This is feeling long. And I just kept saying it over and over again. Now, in the past, I wouldn't have acknowledged that. I would have said, yeah, it's a long time, but blah, 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 blah. But, just that doesn't mean anything other than it's getting to be, it's long. When you moved in January, it's long. And so in me being honest with myself, that helped me move through a bunch of stuff. And it just, everything just is.
Now, can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that you keep to yourself? I mean, obviously you're sharing it with us, or do you share it with your brother as well?
Oh, no, him and I both have said it. I mean, he said, I expected to have moved on, and clearly situations aren't moving in the way we wanted. And I said, yeah, that's true. It is long.
So, okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But part of it is just due the nature of circumstances. I mean, he really doesn't have control until he gets divorced, what he does next. You know what I mean? And I already know at a very soul level for these young souls, mostly a lot for them, said that this will be their respite. This will be their in-between place. And it's like a soul agreement I had with them. But it's so important to acknowledge subtle truths within that. Does that make sense? Because it's so easy for us to kind of go, well, just is what it is, or whatever, things we do before, but it's like giving everything a voice. Mm-hmm. And it's so much easier to do as we step out of judgment, because we're not judging another person or ourselves. We're just stating true. I always say we're Sherlock Holmesing it, just the facts, only the facts, ma'am. We just want to hear the facts. Mm-hmm. And so if you can, no matter what situation you're kind of working with, if you can say to yourself, okay, what is true here? Let me just list what is true, and then go through that. And I don't know, it just, to me, that's a very freeing way to look at a situation and clarifying. And within that, then there might be emotions that you weren't even recognizing that you can move and breathe through. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So you found that helpful?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yay. Yay. Well, I actually got to clean out my bedroom today, so I feel very excited. The first half of the day, I basically meditated like for hours, which, if anybody knows me, that's not really what I do. So that was new. And then the second half of the day, I got to clean. So it was very, I don't know, it felt very something to me. Like I really got that, I really had that time to go inward. And then I hit this certain point, and then I had to move. I had to go. Well, yeah, that makes sense. B is saying, well, you hit 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, move, go. Or 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Yeah, it was 11 o'clock. So 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. I just had to go. Look at the clock talking to me. Yeah, it's time to move. It's time to go. Okay. So anyway, okay, there's one more thing I want to do, which I thought would be kind of fun. And I want someone to share, or you could write it down or whatever, just something that pertains to you in your life, and I'll go through and decode it for you. So it could be something like, it could be anything. I mean, just name your sentence. And what I thought it'd be fun to do is to show you how even in the ordinary sentence, how much code is really in there speaking to you, and just start to, it's almost like now we're starting to speak Spanish. You know, we did the vowels, we did the letters and a few basic words, but now we're going to start speaking it. So does anybody have anything?
So my son is working on selecting a college, and people ask me how he's doing and what progress he's made. And he's also trying to play baseball for a college. And I'm paying more attention to what I say, because I want it needs to be true. And I was trying to describe to my mother, you know, Tom's got a meeting with the baseball coach, but that doesn't mean he's going to get an offer. He's excited. He's got a chance. And I don't know how to. I'm trying to find a way to explain the situation to people without judgment, letting it be open to any outcome. And maybe part of it is I have to let go of my own preference to how it comes out. But yeah, is that it?
Well, I would say, well, I don't want to be attached here, but I kind of am. You know, that for me, that's what I would say. Is that, you know, I really don't want to be attached here, but I kind of am. And isn't that true?
It is
right?
True.
So, you know, I don't want to really be attached here, but I kind of am. He's interviewing with his baseball coach. It'd be awesome because I know that's one of his true desires, but it may not happen.
Right. And I kind of lean towards my preference not talking about it, but that goes back to what you said earlier, is you have to acknowledge the truth that, you know, you're dealing with this situation, and it's okay to say it out loud.
Yeah, and you know, it's okay to really what you're moving. You're taking this large step, Patty, to really start giving yourself a voice and not worry about what someone thinks.
Yeah.
And
okay.
so,
yeah.
You know, I started saying, well, I'm going to tell him myself. I mean, I think I've said that to almost every one of you guys when you've been with me. I said, I'm telling on myself right now. And basically, I mean, that was my way of starting to say, I'm going to tell you how I really feel. You know, well, I'm really attached. I really like this baseball thing, but you know what? There's a chance it may not happen. And if that's the case, I know, there's your believing, I know that there's a perfect place for him.
I know. I know if he doesn't play baseball, he'll be fine. I know. I just want his dreams to come true, and that's what I'm attached to. And
but Patty, you can't control that. And just because you didn't get to live your dream, do you feel this? Yeah. just because you didn't get to live your dream and you didn't have someone supporting you in pursuing your dreams, you know, you don't get to
There
decide
it is.
that. Yeah.
There it
You
is.
know, you don't get to decide that. It's his journey. You are there supporting him. And wherever he ends up is
Okay.
going to be the perfect thing for his soul's journey.
It is. I know that.
So you just kind of let it go. And it's like when I allow it, or I didn't allow, but when I honored Atlee's choice to not go to college. You know, he was this 4.0 student, and he goes, I don't even want to go to college. I'm like, feel so grateful my soul said I'm my human. And I just said, well, I'm not attached to anything. He said, if you don't know what you want to do, it's an expensive place to figure it out. And I said, but you will do something. You know, you will work or do something. And so, you know, he did. And then it went on to year 2. And that year got long. You know, and there was so many people going, you know, from the outside going, I can't believe you're just letting Atlee sit in the basement, you know, all this kind of stuff. And I said, I'm holding space for him to find his way. And just like, you know, and then he goes to Cornell and all this stuff, and people go, oh, you must be so proud. I said, you know what? I didn't take any credit when he was being a bum in the basement, and I don't take any credit on this. It was him. He did it. He made those choices to sit in the basement. He made those choices to get up and move and to do something different. I didn't go to class with him. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So,
yes.
but I would say that to people, and then they look at me because, you know, their kid succeeds, and that means something about them. I don't know. No, it means that their kid succeeded. You know what I mean? Part of this is just everybody's got their own journey here. You know, and I always said, hey, it was my job to give my kids roots. It's up to them to find their wings.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. Well, that was perfect. It wasn't the decoding I thought I was, but it was phraseology, I guess, you know, doing more conscious languaging. And that's perfect because it's bottom line, it's not what we're saying, it's about how, you know, where is it coming from? How are we exuding it? How are we looking at something? It's the how. It's not the what. If you're getting caught up in the what, you're still in the illusion. Does that make sense? I just want to kind of summarize up here. These energies that we're in, and hopefully you guys listen to the next level that I put out. There was some cool things that came in about 10:10 ready. I don't know, when it was doing that, I was like, wow, I felt that. Like we said, there this ready that we had 10 days left to get ready. And remember, at the beginning of this, I was saying we have to get it and get it both ways. Like get it, get ready, prepare, but also get essentially what ready is asking us to do here. And there is this requirement that is to be met, and it really, the universe really doesn't care how we get there. It just will ensure that we do. So this next week may look quite intense for some people around you in your life. So breathe. And this is just an observation. Those that have made the other soul choice, that are not firmly in their heart space, are really getting hammered right now. It's really showing up in their reality. So, I mean, I'm just like, people share stuff. I'm like, wow, there's just another example. So with that, you want to be aware, because we really can't prepare for what we're going to experience. More and more, you want to chant, move. And I put the sticky on my computer screen that says, I move me. I move me. I'm not going to wait for the universe to do it. I move me. I will take those steps. I will do those things that I'm being nudged and insisted on doing. I will let go. I move me. As part of the benefit of doing this, it's interesting too, because Mara was unable to even write anything about these last 10 days, which is new. She couldn't even write anything down, meaning she couldn't put any energy into it. So in a way, how I perceive that is that we're all kind of on our own. We are, but we aren't. You know, we are in that whatever it's going to take for us individually to get ready, it will be. So I would invite you to be very much aware of what you're being nudged, what you're being nudged, what you're being shown. And this is not a time to dig in your heels and be resistant. No, I move me. Okay, so let's just kind of wrap this up, and let's go around and have everybody do some final sharing here. And why don't you just share what you feel like really was helpful tonight? Sue, I'm going to start with you.
Well, I don't even know if this was, well, it is a premise of all of this, I believe. And that is, for me also, is just staying present to the time of now. And I know that that was implicated in a lot of ways. So at any rate, that feels like the thing that I want to continue to keep in the forefront, and also the continued processing of the emotions, because I know how all of that helps support me.
Yeah. Awesome. Glad you could join us.
Yeah, thanks.
How about you, Pamela?
Mostly just feeling super grateful that while we're in this situation the next 10 days, we have so many tools, we have so much energetic love and so many things to support us. And that this could be magical as it is a challenge. And it's okay.
Yeah. Like, I got this, you know. I got this. Yeah. Awesome. How about you, Patty?
I am grateful as well for another tool. The circles is very helpful. And the acknowledgement, just say it. The challenging situations, it's okay to say it, give it a voice, and you know, it's true. It's you can't deal with it if you're hiding from it or stuffing it. So acknowledging it, just a lot of reminders tonight. I'm grateful for the awareness and the sisterhood and the tools. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. And for me, I just feel blessed by everybody sharing and awareness. I feel like that just helps me to hone in and just be even more aware of myself. And also, remember, whatever I connect with you guys always supports the next person that I work with. So that's exciting too. So I just want to thank you all. And there's some interesting sound coming in. Did you hear that? That wasn't me. The first one I tried to ignore. The second one is like, that is sound. So anyway, I feel like we will connect next Tuesday night and do another one. I just feel like that'll help stabilize some of this energy and just kind of do the thing that it is to do. Oh, one other thing. I just want to put out there again, if you're going through something and you just want to, I mean, part of this, you saying yes to this whole year commitment was also to have access to me. So if you are going through something and you have a just quick question and you want to text me or just quickly connect with me, I am here for you guys. And I want you to know that you know, I'm here to support you. Sometimes it just takes another lens or another way of saying something or whatever. And so I just wanted to reiterate that for you guys in case you haven't taken advantage of that. So let's see. So next Tuesday, whatever date that is, I believe it's 28th. Would that be right? I feel like it is. Is that right? Or is it Monday the 28th? It's the 29th. Okay, so it'd be the 29th, Tuesday the 29th. We'll plan on connecting here again and just getting re-anchored and get ourselves ready to move, because November, it's going to be very, very different. So I thank all of you for just showing up and being you and coming with all your beautiful humanness as well as your soul's presence. So heart hugs to you all and blessings. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Thanks.